Okay, in the previous video, we talked about what a system is, and we saw that it just is two equations graphed on one line. And we also talked about there are three ways to solve. That means to determine the break-even point where they mean the same thing. And the two ways are three ways are substitution, elimination, and graphing. We just talked about graphing. Now we will do substitution. So now you can use any method you want. There's not a right or wrong method, but there's just different methods. So in the substitution method we see here, usually if it's the variable or the y is alone, that's the best way to work this out using a substitution method. One of the systems or one of the equations, you have the variable isolated. So that's just simply means you can substitute it in for the y that is right here. So you can see here I have simply substituted. Instead of writing the y, I'm writing the problem that represents the y in the second equation. So when using this method, just take your time, use two different colors of pencils if you want to, just so you can just see I just replaced. Substitution means I replaced the y's. Okay, in the other equation. So now I'm going to just do my distribution as the first. Now, as you can see, I just distributed the 2 times the negative 3, I have negative 6x. And I had 2 times the negative 8 is a negative 18. And I went ahead and wrote down equals negative 1. Now I'm going to combine my x's. So if you notice here, I combined the x's and left negative 5x minus 18. I bet you can tell me what I'm going to do next. So did you get it up to this point so far? You have minus 5x equals 17. I guess we sort of panic at this point because it looks like it's not going to come out even. You know, in life, everything does not come out even, and that's okay in math also. So what are we going to do? Even though it may not come out even, we know we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. And now I'm going to cancel that out. So it's a fraction. And fractions are okay. They're not scary. So it's a negative 17 over 5. It's okay to have a fraction answer. If you want to make that into a mixed number, that is 3. 3 times 15, 16, and 2/5. And are we finished? Not quite. Okay, it just told us what the x is. Okay, we substituted. This just says this is the x in our system. Now we got to plug that in. It'd be a little difficult because it's a fraction. Plug that in to the equation here as x and solve for y. So let's look at it. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I forestated, I'm going to go ahead and substitute the 3 and 2/5, 3 and 2/5 here for the equation. This is the first equation. You can substitute either way. You could have substituted even the second one. Probably would have been easier. But this, like I said, there's no one way to do anything. You can do it different methods. So we know that cancels out. So I'm going to try to write this. So this would be 2y. So equals, so we'll take negative 1, and you have to subtract because it's negative positive. It's going to leave it 2 and 2/5. Okay, so now how can we work with 2 and 2/5? Now we're going to divide both sides by 2. You can either put it in your calculator or you can change the 2 and 2/5 to a mixed number. So if you follow here, I have 2y equals 12, 2 and 2/5 rather. 2 and 2/5 changes to 12 over 5. Okay, so on both sides we have to divide by 2 to get rid of the 2 here. So y equals 12 over 5 divided by 2. So why don't we just use our new calculator to figure that out? Okay, so let me find it. Here we go. So what if we have parentheses? Put it in parentheses now because you have 12 divided by 5 because that's the problem there. And then you're going to divide that by 2. And it came up with the answer, which is 1.2. So let's put this on the graph and see if it works out that way also. You know, class, I have made an error. See if you can see what my error is, and I will correct. Okay, I'm sure you saw it. 2 times 8 is not 18, it is 16. Okay, so let's make our corrections. Now this is much better. X is -3. Lot faster, lot easier. Sorry for the error, but let's look. Then we have X is -3. Just put -3 in for X and look at what we. So we have here, we've got where it intersects. We see here when I substituted it in for the -3 for the X, I have Y is 1. So X is -3. Y is 1. Now let's look at our calculator online. You see I have it typed in. X plus 2y is -1. That's the purple line here. Orange line is the second one. Y equals -3x minus 8. In this calculator, you don't have to put it in y equals. It will still graph. And the intersection is -3, 1. Oh, I went over them 6 minutes. Sorry for the mistake.